Hello, welcome. Going to look at some early Kenner Star Wars toys. I'm going to show 7 mini rigs. There were 9 in all. And these are vehicles that were not in the movies. Kenner made a few original vehicles beyond these as well, like the troop transport before the mini rigs, and then some stuff in the Power of the Force line, some of which were from the Droids cartoon. And these mini rigs also would later, some of them made appearances in the comic book. So just Kenner's creations that had an impact on Star Wars without Lucasfilm's input. So they basically started coming out during Empire Strikes Back toy line, and then Return of the Jedi. So there were 4 waves of them between 1981 and 1984. Just gonna open up the page here to show you. I'll show you the ones I don't have. So these are the mini rigs here. There's 5 of them in this booklet, and the one I don't have is this one, the Multi-Terrain Vehicle, or MTV7. They all but the final 2, the last wave, have acronyms. And that's actually what was featured more so than the name itself on the box. So that's this guy. It has a snowtrooper in it. 2 wheels, it just rolls. Now, they're sort of vehicles for Hoth, I guess, because they were coming out around the time of Empire, and then the other ones Return of the Jedi, so they're not necessarily for Hoth, but that's what you kind of get the sense of. Now, they weren't, the darker ones are basically Imperial, plus the one I'm not showing, and the other 2 more or less are viewed as Rebellion, or, the Rebels vehicles. So let me start with the lamest one, I guess. This one. Now this is the Personnel Deployment Transport, or PDT-8. So yeah, it's a transport. It transports 2 people. It's got, a spot on each side with a little peg, and then these drop down to put people in. Now, I have action figures to show, but I chose kind of the lesser known guys, or the less popular guys. And these are Bespin or Cloud City security guards. I don't know if they're based on any actual guys you see in the movie, or just, I think they're just more or less generic. And because the mini rigs aren't from the movies, I figured, well, I won't pick guys that make sense. I'll just pick guys that nobody really pays attention to, for the most part. Yeah, they don't fit too well on these pegs, though. So I will say the pegs are either larger than normal, or these guys have small feet. So anyway, that's where they go. Close it up. The thrusters rotate, and there's little guns on each side that rotate as well. In the pictures, they picture droids being transported in these, which would make sense if this is being used on Hoth, because, well, you want to be inside a vehicle, not exposed if you're on Hoth. Alright, let's go with this one next. This is the... what is the name of this one? The Interceptor? The INT-4? So, it's a little ship, because it does have wings. They're folded up right now. There's a button on the back. And there's a lot of my stickers, quite a few of them are peeling. Because they are old, of course. Yeah, get in frame better. This little flimsy gun on the front doesn't really stay in place. There's kind of a cool slot here, little window. And the guy goes in there. Now, you can't really get in there yourself, so there's no stickers to apply inside. I'm gonna stick this guy in there. Didn't even remember these guys. These are like the guys that appeared on screen like a second or two, 5 seconds, 10 seconds. Kenner needed more characters to sell, so I think this guy, they just call him Prune Face, I believe. Let me go at the Captivator next. the CAP-2. Now, this one doesn't balance too well. I have the left arm there as a third leg, basically, but if you were to try to stand it up, it's just going to tip over with the weight distribution. And you can see on the bottom, the legs have suction cups for feet. It does suction cup to things. I mean, it doesn't really hold right now. Even if you put, I put some water on it, it might hold better. It just doesn't stick to this surface too well. But, I'll suction it down. It'll stay for a little bit, a few seconds anyway. And it's starting to go. Held longer than I expected. So you got these arms, and then there is some. I am missing something up here. It's just another little gun. And this looks really dirty, but that's just how it is. I tried washing it, but it's just, again, just from being old. Here's the sticker showing the instrument panel, and there's a claw on the back. It doesn't open too wide, but it it can hold or grab an action figure. So let me put some people on this. I'm gonna put this guy with the big helmet in here. This is a Star Destroyer Commander or something like that. And grab this guy. Very famous droid, right? You remember him? The Death Star droid? So that's what they named him. I guess he didn't have an official name, so Kenner just said, oh, the droid that was in the Death Star, yeah, he is Death Star droid. Maybe he has a name now, but that's what the booklet. I was just using the booklet to look up their names because I don't really remember. Here's another great droid, FX7. His head goes up. He's got these arms that pop out, whatever they are. I don't really know. Just gonna kind of have him being picked up here by the Captivator and dropped. It's an interesting vehicle, but if you were to play on a carpet, there's no way you could stand it up, and like the suction cups aren't gonna work. I mean, you tilt the weight way back maybe, but really using the arm as another leg is the best way to go. I'm not exactly showing these in order of wave though. They were released in 4 waves, so 2 to 3 per wave to reach 9. So this one I actually have part of the box for. The Mobile Laser Cannon MLC-3. So this one would have been in I think this is, well, it's a panel, like a side panel of the box, I believe. The box is probably a little bigger. But it's all in one piece as far as I didn't cut out the proof of purchase at least. So, yeah, it rolls around, sort of like a mini tank. It's meant, to look like it has treads. It says some wheels on the bottom. And it opens up. This one I actually picked out a well-known figure for, because I think he looks funny in it. Here's Admiral Akbar. Obviously, being Hoth, they show in the picture, here's his Han Solo in Hoth gear and just a generic rebel soldier. Which is what they stick a lot of, in the pictures. They stick the rebel soldiers and the snowtroopers in them. I just like putting Akbar in this because of this. It looks sort of like, like a little fish tank in a way. Just position him better here. Maybe I put him up too far. His arms are in the way, I think. Yeah, I thought he looked funny in there. Because he's calamari or squid-like guy, whatever they call him. The gun's raised. Alright, we move on to the other booklets. Return of the Jedi. I'm missing one that looks rather cool. I've never actually seen it in person. So the one I don't have is this one here, the Endor Forest Ranger. It's got a ground vehicle, 3 guns on it. This one shows a rebel trooper from Endor. And then 2 of these are considered part of Jabba's group. So Jabba the Hutt's guards, like they have Boba Fett in this one, and looks like Klaatu in that one. And then this would be the Imperial Vehicle. And all the pictures, they used Darth Vader in that one. I don't think Darth Vader would ever get in this little chunky thing. And let me just pull it in frame here. I also have the manual to this one. The ISP-6 Imperial Shuttle Pod Vehicle. So again, Vader's in the instructions, in the pictures, but I don't know why he'd ever get in this. He has his own TIE fighter, and this looks like a dinky piece of junk, kind of. It's almost though, well, the wings drop down on this one too, reminiscent a bit of the Imperial shuttlecraft that the Emperor uses to go around, and basically they're shown going to Endor, so the Emperor uses it and the Rebels use it to infiltrate Endor. The manual is basically just showing where to put stickers. So it has a button on the back, or no, this one's on the bottom. I think, what do I do? There you go. So just push on that, and they drop down. Of course, it opens up with some more peeling stickers. And I'm gonna put another guy that no one will remember. I think he's like an android, but I don't know. I think he might also be maybe a bounty hunter in a way. I didn't look up who exactly he is. His name is Zuckuss. I don't really remember him from the movies. Okay, next up, this one, I didn't even see the name in here, but I looked it up online. I mean, it's called the AST-5. I didn't see the full name in here. I could be overlooking it. So I looked it up. It's the Armored Sentinel Transport. It's a odd vehicle, really. It's funny how they describe it. They say awesome anti-gravity vehicle. So it's awesome. At least you know that. But well, it has this. Yeah, sorry, I'm going out of frame a lot, and I'm looking down rather than just see where the camera is. So it folds like this. So this is actually how it's meant to stand, like that. Because the guy, when you put a guy in here, I'm gonna go with the Cloud Car Pilot. Yeah, these guys pop up on screen to escort the Millennium Falcon into Cloud City. Let me just put his feet in first. It almost looks like a coffin to me, the way the outline is. But I mean, he's got instruments up here. When you fold it down, I guess the way I stuck them, they'd be upside down. But also, he doesn't look like you could really see him because he's looking out the window. So when you stand it up, you know, he'd be looking ahead, and I guess aiming these. But I don't know if it can move in this form. Otherwise, it does fly like a flying vehicle. They say it can go into the atmosphere, like into space briefly, but it's not really a space vehicle. So supposedly these were used by Jabba's guards. Alright, the last one is this one. This is the Desert Sail Skiff, and this one is reminiscent, of course, of the full-size sail barge that Jabba used. It's sort of like cutting a piece of it off, the front end maybe. And it moved, like, when you move this piece, the fins move. And it also has a plank, just like the sail barge, so it's quite tiny. I'm just going to put another droid in there. If you remember him, most people call him the torture droid. His name is 8B8. He's quite tall as well. Probably not a great choice for this. But yeah, this folds back, so if it's in the way, I can just move it. I was originally going to put this guy on there. E-Wing Pilot. Another generic rebel guy. But then I thought, oh, yeah, let's Return of the Jedi. Maybe I should stick an Ewok on here. I think this guy's name is Tebow, but I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure he's Tebow. So he walks the plank. Yeah. The barge isn't pictured in here. It's the movie picture. It's what they have in this booklet. So you can see the front end looks very similar to this, and then the plank was next to it. I don't have much from the Power of the Force line, which is the last line and where the sail barge. Oh, it's in here. Maybe it came out a little later. Available in 1985, which is late. I think Return of the Jedi came out in 83, but I didn't double check. So that's what the sail barge or droid desert skiff vehicle they're calling it here. And this shows, you know, a couple of the mini rigs. Then there's also what they call body rigs. A lot of original stuff here. The Ewok battle wagon. This thing, the ATL Interceptor. I said before, some of these might have been in the Droids cartoon. It was just anything Kenner could come up with to sell more toys here when the movies ended. This is the Imperial Side Gunner. You know, some of these are from the movies, but some aren't. They just, this is the end of the toy line basically until the 90s. So these are a little uncommon, I guess. They're not rare, but they're less produced than the rest of them. Alright, I'm gonna show another view of these. I'm gonna pick up the camera and, you know, set them up, give you a closer view up from the front. So let me just move the camera. Alright, I'm just gonna move in closer to each one. It's gonna be a little shaky since I'm holding the camera, and I'm gonna have to keep refocusing as I go. Alright, so here's Zuckuss, and if I remember the names, ISP. Of course, that acronym makes you think of internet service provider these days. And of course, one of them was called MTV, which, yeah, it's kind of a funny name, but that vehicle called MTV that I don't have, it actually released the same year the music television station launched. It's an odd coincidence. This one I just have kind of a position I guess it doesn't normally use. And these guys are just standing back here. And the B-Wing pilot hanging out, looking for his B-Wing. I do have the B-Wing. It has a few broken parts on it though. Alright. Just have FX7 sitting here. I'm not really going to pick him up though. And last up, Admiral Akbar. And the mobile laser cannon. And the camera doesn't want to focus on him for some reason. Go. Yeah, I'm in too close, I think. Just trying to get a good shot of him inside there. There he is. Alright, thanks for watching.